Hey guys, this is Gene. Um, Before I get into my thoughts of the week, we're going to talk about the, bu- the the myth of building up women. Um, I want to talk about my last video. Um, I was emotional when I did it, and somebody not really called me out on it. They did it first, so he didn't realize that it was me. Um, But we had a couple of conversations, and this guy is, this guy's got over like 10,000 subscribers, and he's a former Army vet, uh, and I do listen to him. Most of the time, I agree with what he has to say. Um, we had a little conversation on Twitter, and I took it to heart what he had to say. However, this is still my channel, and I want whoever watches me is mostly a lot of them are people that I know, and I do want to see I want them to see the actual emotion that I have when I'm reporting or when I'm talking about something. Now, obviously, he was upset because I did edit the video because during the time, and it's now I think about 10% of all my videos, somebody is calling me at home, and but I don't cut it. I don't cut it out. I just let it go through. Um, and yeah, that shows that I'm not that professional when it comes to it. But again, this channel isn't really about that. It's for me because of the issue that I had. That I had a stroke that messed up with my language. This is more therapy, but also something I would have done if I had the time 5 years before um, to get my thoughts out. So certainly anybody wants. No, he didn't criticize me. At first, maybe he did, but then he realized. And this is how when you actually talk to people, um, and somebody says something to you, the first thing is not to just attack that person. You just give them the facts about it. And then if that person is of some sort of moral character like he is, he he changes the tack and says, now in the future, maybe when you're emotional, you shouldn't do this. And he's right, and I agree with him. When I'm emotional, it's hard for me to talk. It's hard for me to get the words out. But part of me wants people to see it. I want them to see that I'm upset about it. And when it came to what happened with Matt Walsh, uh, he needed to see it. Now, will he ever see what I said? No. He got my post on his Facebook. See if anything happens with that. But anyway, today I want to talk about this myth of always building up females in society. And there are a couple stories I want to talk about it. One of them is, I guess, is a real story. The other one is more of a made up story, but it still shows the narrative that we're going through right now. So I'll start with the kind of made up one. And what I mean by made up, it's dealing with the WWE, which is wrestling. Now, I'm a 50-year-old guy, and obviously, when I was about 10, I knew that uh, wrestling is fake, and in a lot of ways, that's when you kind of go away from it. But I came back into it during the Attitude Era uh, for about 2 or 3 years during the war between WWE or WWF, I guess, against and WCW during that time when the programming was the best it's ever been. So I was watching a lot. And then I went overseas and I just stopped watching it. So I've been out of it forever. But then my son, about 2 or 3 years ago, got into it and he likes it. And he's a special needs, but he likes the good guys and the bad guys. I mean, he's a Cena fan, but he also likes the Undertaker. Excuse me. But anyway, so I'll preface this is scripted, and what these people are saying is almost always scripted, but it's still the same narrative. In WWE, there's this quote unquote give the Divas a chance, and also the Divas Revolution. So on Monday, right, Monday Night Raw, they had a little panel and on Miz TV, and Paige, who was 22, I think, started talking about this is the era for the dominant female athlete, and so she was basically comparing herself to two people that I guess you might say are dominating, which is like Ronda Rousey, which is obviously in her division, she is dominating against other women. And then Serena Williams, because she's won a lot of championships and looks like she'll win a Grand Slam this year. Although she has some sort of medical revolution going on there. To me, she's not natural. But that's just me looking on the other side. The point I want to say is that we've always seen when a woman has been good at a sport that we build her up, and this is nothing new. But now we're still. It's like it's in our face all the time that we have to continually say that this person is strong, and we have to build them up because they're a woman, and I just don't understand it. The problem I have is, and I love watching female sports. I'm a big time supporter of FSU. We won the championship in soccer last year. Our softball team gets to the finals usually every year. Our basketball team's not bad at all. So there's a difference between supporting something like that and then have to sit there and say, I have to tell you how great you are. No women in the MMA, there's no way that Ronda Rousey could beat any woman, any man, who's at 135 that has any type of pedigree in MMA. It wouldn't happen. And I'm talking about somebody that's off the street and you teach it for 6 months, like Zimmerman said he did. I'm talking about somebody that's been trained in it, who's actually on contract at UFC. She had no chance unless somebody gave up the arm for that. And I would love to see it. I would love to see it because I hear it because she talks about all the time how she could probably beat a guy. And people, it's like, oh, yeah, it could happen. Really? If she fought anybody in bantamweight division who were men at any rating, she'd get knocked out. The one time somebody would hit her, it would be over. Although I'd love to see her fight, because she is so dominant in her division. It's nice to watch. Guys like that. We like dominant athletes, and we'll watch them whether you're a female or not. And this continually telling us that we have to build up women. It gets on me all the damn time. Now, the other side, the other story I want to talk about is something that's been going on now for I guess 4 or 5 weeks, ever since the debate that Becky Kelly started up with her first question being all about gender specific, to bring up something to, and I don't like Trump. I don't like him at all. He's an asshole. But her first question was, there's nothing about policy there. It's all about gender specific and how women feel about being said things like that about them. So all that happened, and he may have said that she's a bimbo or she's got blood coming out of certain areas and stuff like that, but everybody had to come in white knight for her and say that she's a strong, independent reporter and all this stuff. And I'm like, why? Why we continue? You can have all the other part and say she's a good reporter. That if you want to say that the question is fine, I personally don't think it was, but that she has an agenda, great for her. It helped her brand, and like I said in my post on it, her and Trump are putting more money in their own pocket by this stupid feud. But anyway, why do we always have to say now she is, or we're going to say she's a strong woman? Why? And Montel Williams put it on his Facebook today, and that's somebody I respect. Got another vet. Don't always agree with him and everything, but he said the same thing, and I responded to him and I say, why are we still having to build up women all the damn time when our brothers are killing themselves 80%. What? I'm going to say this every other video that I say that it's not sports related when I'm talking about Manchester United or something like that. And I might even say it during that. Every time that I hear this about building up women while my brothers are killing themselves for stupid shit like Ashley Madison or the fact that they've been jilted by a woman and nobody cares. And there's no press coverage for it. Or 93% of them who die at the workplace. There's no coverage for that. We want to talk about a woman who's a millionaire, who's going to get more millions because she said something, and people are going to support her because she's a woman, and we have to have these white knights to come out and support her because I guess women are not that strong. This is what after all of this stuff, and this is not the only two things. I mean, I could seriously, if I had it in front of me, I could sit there all the different things that we say. She's a strong, independent woman. They say that in the black community about single mothers. She's a strong, independent woman who raises thug behaviors in her kids and then basically feeds the institution of prison and welfare. I mean, the idea that that is strong, that she was strong by standing up to Donald Trump because Trump said some stupid shit, some misogynist things about women. What is that? That's not strong. Maybe you should have asked something that's more policy. You know, I have a little bit more. I don't really have a comment really kind of with the guy from Univision standing up when he wasn't called and trying to interfere with a press conference. At least that's a real issue. Immigration in this country is a real issue. The fact that Trump said things about women, everybody knew this. But anyway, back to the point. Why do we have to keep doing this? Why do we have to still build up women? Is their insecurity so ingrained that they don't have it? When pretty much the Western world is given to them anyway. How could they not have it? They can say things they want to do. They can rape kids, and they're not held accountable. We live in a gynocentric society. This is true. They have more rights than men do. They have more funding that goes to women that don't go to men, and it gets older and older to hear it. That we have to sit there and say, in front of a woman, we have to say that word. She is a strong, independent female. Why? There's a reason why. You say that because you have to say strong there, and then you say independent because that means she needs no man. And of course, the last 40 or 50 years, what's happened with the marriage in this country? Guys have waked it up. They're like, you know what? Then we don't want nothing to do with either. And so marriage has gone down to the tubes, going down the tubes. So you can be independent, but at the end of the day, who are they going to come back for help? They're going to ask for the state, and that's Big Daddy right there. And who's paying all the taxes for those women to get the money for what they need? Guys. But anyway, so that's how I felt. I just wanted to get it off my chest. It's something that I do on this channel. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Anybody who responds to me, it's something that I will always listen to, and I'll respond to you if I can. And thank you for Justin Carr for asking how I was doing after my stroke and all that. So that makes me feel that somebody's out there actually listening to what I have to say. Thank you for listening. You guys have a good day. Bye.